British strategic planners, early Cold War, continental denial doctrine, West German territory, Soviet advance assumption, rear area disruption, nuclear demolition concept, Project Blue Peacock, British National Programme, Government Security Classification, War Office Involvement, Cabinet Awareness Limited, Atomic Weapons Oversight, Atomic Energy Authority, Operational Theatre Planning, Forward Storage Requirement, Unattended Emplacement Doctrine, Delayed Detonation Option, Remote Detonation Option, Wire Command Detonation, Timer Command Detonation, Fixed Yield Target, 10 kilotons nominal, Demolition Roll Framing, Infrastructure Denial Mission, Bridge Denial Intent, Road Denial Intent, Rail Denial Intent, Choke point Denial Intent, Area Contamination Acceptance, Political Risk Noted, Allied Coordination Difficulty, German Sovereignty Sensitivity, NATO Consultation Uncertain, British Unilateral Planning, Device Designation Internal, Blue Colour Code, Peacock Project Name, AWE Responsibility Lead, Aldermaston Facility Role, Firing Set Design, Safety Case Drafting, Engineering Change Control, Formal Requirements Sheets, Procurement File Trails, Explosive Package Planning, Nuclear Physics Package, Implosion System Assumed, High Explosive Lenses, Detonator Synchronization, Multipoint Initiation, Exploder Units, Bridgewire Detonators, Detonator Cable Harness, Insulation Requirements List, Environmental Sealing Needs, Moisture Ingress Concern, Soil Chemistry Concern, Groundwater Exposure Concern, Corrosion Rate Estimates, Steel Casing Selection, Thick Plate Fabrication, Weld Seam Qualification, X-ray Inspection, Radiographic Weld Checks, Pressure Leak Testing, Helium Sniff Testing, Gasket Material Choice, Rubber Compound Limits, Cold Brittleness Risk, Seal Compression Set, Threaded Access Ports, Locking Rings Used, Tamper-Resistant Fasteners, Security Screws Specified, Anti-Removal Features, Tamper Switch Inclusion, Tilt Switch Concept, Vibration Switch Concept, Case Opening Switch, Explosive Anti-Tamper, Neutralization Difficulty Intended, Booby Trap Rationale, Long Unattended Period, Human Guarding Excluded, Manpower Shortage Assumption, Camouflage Requirement Noted, Burial Depth Parameter, Soil Cover Thickness, Spade Excavation Planning, Engineer Unit Tasking, Royal Engineers Doctrine, Pre-selected Sites, Survey Grid References, Map Annex Preparation, Site Access Routes, Concealed Approach Tracks, Night Emplacement Scheduling, Low Signatures Transport, Crated Device Movement, Special Handling Teams, Controlled Convoy Movement, Security Escort Planning, British Army Coordination, Local Authority Exclusion, Minimal Disclosure Policy, Storage Depot Selection, Forward Depot Siting, Ammunition Storage Analogy, Unique Nuclear Security, Key Control Procedures, Two-Person Rule, Separation of Components, Core Storage Separation, Firing Set Separation, Assembly Near Site, Final Arming Late, Arming Plug Method, Keyed Connectors, Color-Coded Leads, Connector Locking Clips, Cable Strain Relief, Potting Compound Used, Vibration Damping Needed, Shock Mount Selection, Transport Shock Spectra, Rail Transport Possibility, Road Transport Default, Crate Design Drawings, Timber Crate Framing, Steel Banding Straps, Moisture Barrier Lining, Desiccant Inclusion, Humidity Indicator Cards, Handling Stencils Applied, Restricted Markings Avoided, Cover Names Used, Generic Stores Labels, Administrative Deception, Movement Order References, Special Category Stores, Serial Number Tracking, Ledger Entry Control, Audit Trail Requirements, Inspectorate Reviews, Safety Committee Meetings, Risk Register Entries, Failure Mode Analysis, Single Point Failures, Redundant Circuits, Battery Redundancy, Power Supply Planning, Primary Battery Type, Cold Performance Issue, Battery Capacity Drop, Chemical Reaction Slowing, Electrolyte Viscosity Rise, Voltage Sag Risk, Timer Accuracy Drift, Quartz Timing Absent, Mechanical Timer Option, Clockwork Timer Option, Electric Timer Option, Timer Calibration Steps, Bench Calibration Logs, Temperature Chamber Tests, Cold Soak Trials, Minus Temperature Targets, German Winter Conditions, Soil Temperature Profiles, Depth Temperature Gradient, Frostline Estimates, Casing Heat Loss, Internal Temperature Requirements, Minimum Operating Temperature, switch contact reliability, lubricant thickening, grease selection issues, low temperature greases, oil viscosity limits, relay chaser risk, contact bounce risk, capacitor leakage, resistor tolerance drift, insulation resistance changes, moisture condensation risk, thermal cycling stress, seal breathing effect, pressure differential buildup, vent valve debate, vent valve rejection, hermetic sealing choice, potted electronics option, encapsulation trials, potting shrinkage risk, crack formation risk, water path creation, quality control sampling, acceptance test procedure, functional test jigs, continuity tests, mega insulation tests, fuse line integrity, detonator resistance checks, safe arm device, SAD unit, mechanical interrupter, rotary shutter concept, arming sequence control, multiple safeties layered, transport safety emphasis, handling accident scenarios, drop test planning, crush test planning, fire exposure concern, cook-off analysis, high explosive sensitivity, thermal decomposition thresholds, insulation flammability, packaging fire rating, vehicle fire hazards, fuel fire scenarios, crash dispersal concern, emergency response plan, security cordon rules, EOD team limitations, nuclear accident teams, radiological monitoring kit, survey meter issuance, dosimeter distribution, medical response liaison, decontamination kit planning, protective clothing lists, mask types specified, glove material specified, boot cover stocks, sampling bag stocks, evidence collection protocols, incident reporting channels, classified reporting format, restricted distribution lists, code word communications, telephone security measures, courier use preferred, sealed envelope routine, safe custody rules, need to know scope, foreign release prohibited, German notification avoided, parliamentary oversight absent, treasury cost scrutiny, budget line concealment, contractor involvement limited, in-house manufacture, specialist subcontractors, explosives plant work, casting facility use, machining operations required, casing machining, flange machining, thread cutting, surface finishing, anti-corrosion coating, primer coat selection, bitumen external layer, paint system trials, soil abrasion concern, coating adhesion tests, salt spray testing, immersion testing, cathodic protection considered, sacrificial anodes rejected, complexity penalty, weight constraints, total weight estimate, two-man lift excluded, mechanical handling required, hand winch use, tripod hoist option, vehicle crane option, spreader bar use, sling attachment points, proof load testing, lifting eye design, eye bolt safety factor, burial pit dimensions, pit shoring requirement, collapse risk noted, water seepage risk, pump equipment list, sandbagging procedure, backfill compaction, settlement allowance, marker avoidance, no surface signs, reference point offset, paste distance method, compass bearing method, hidden datum selection, record keeping dilemma, map security problem, site list classification, duplicate copies restricted, emergency destruction orders, file burn procedures, alternate record storage, microfilm consideration, encrypted codebook idea, key management burden, operational handover plan, relief unit training, training syllabus drafting, limited trainee pool, nuclear familiarization needed, explosive ordnance training, timer setting drills, arming plug drills, cable laying drills, command wire concealment, wire break risk, rodent damage risk, abrasion damage risk, moisture wicking risk, insulation jacket choice, rubber cable types, copper conductor size, resistance per meter, signal attenuation concern, firing pulse requirements, capacitor discharge unit, pulse shaping network, continuity monitoring, line test feature, false continuity risk, short circuit risk, ground fault risk, insulation breakdown risk, lightning surge risk, surge arrestor option, grounding stake option, grounding stake drawbacks, detection signature risk, metal detector risk, Soviet engineer threat, countermine capability assumed, time delay detonation, timer concealment benefit, command wire liability, dual mode provision, mode selection switch, mode selection lock, Authorized personnel only. Keyed selector, safety pin retention, arming step sequence, step list control, checklist compliance. Sign-off sheets, witness signatures, timestamp entries, chain of custody, serial number checks, seal number checks, tamper seal tags, seal wire crimp tool custody, tool accountability logs, workshop tooling lists, torque wrench calibration, torque value control, thread locking compound, thread galling issues, anti-seize selection, compatibility testing, rubber swelling tests, oil contamination tests, soil hydrocarbon presence, agricultural chemical exposure, fertilizer nitrate exposure, nitrate corrosion effect, steel pitting risk, weld heat affected zone, stress corrosion concern, residual stress relief, post-weld heat treatment, dimensional inspection, gauge block verification, tolerance stack-ups, assembly fit checks, fuse bay clearance, cable routing clearance, sharp edge deburring, harness chafe protection, grommet installation, bulkhead connectors, O-ring grooves, O-ring lubrication, O-ring squeeze, leak path mapping, drain path exclusion, ingress protection focus, mud exposure tests, soil pressure tests, long-term burial tests, mock burial trials, instrumented dummy devices, thermocouple placement, internal temperature logging, data recorder housing, chart recorder use, daily reading routine, weather station correlation, soil moisture measurement, rainfall correlation, freeze-thaw cycles, fuse reliability tracking, battery voltage tracking, timer, drift tracking, failure reports filed, rectification actions, design review meetings, minutes circulation restricted, action item lists, engineering change notices, drawing revision control, obsolete drawing withdrawal, stamping procedures, controlled print numbers, draftsman roll each, approving officer roll, the signature block control, date block use, file reference numbers, registry handling, secure registry cabinets, safe combination changes, key custody ledger, courier clearance checks, document destruction logs, witnessed shredding absent, burn bag method, incinerator use, ash residue handling, security inspection regimes, MI5 liaison possible, military intelligence liaison, information compartmentation, cover story preparation, engineer training cover, dummy stores explanation, routine exercise framing, local observation avoidance, civilian curiosity risk, press exposure risk, diplomatic fallout risk, West German politics, occupation legacy context, British sector memory, nuclear sentiment sensitivity, public disclosure risk, denial statements prepared, official comment policy, parliament question handling, ministerial briefing notes, short factual lines, technical annexes referenced, yield disclosure avoided, device description limited, location disclosure denied, routine security language, operational feasibility reviews, strategic value debate, escalation control concerns, authority to detonate, command chain complexity, delegation risks, unauthorized detonation risk, communication loss scenarios, pre-delegation policy tension, crisis time compression, Soviet breakthrough speed, decision window short, timer preset option, timer preset danger, false alarm triggers, misidentification risk, exercise confusion risk, signal spoof risk, sabotage risk, friendly tamper risk, burial site reuse, construction works risk, agricultural ploughing risk, road maintenance risk, flooding risk, erosion risk, land ownership changes, record mismatch risk, map loss risk, unit rotation risk, oral briefing loss, human error risk, checklist fatigue risk, key misplacement risk, spare key policy, two-key system, separated key storage, different officer custody, dual sign requirement, locked container storage, portable safe option, vehicle safe option, field safe impractical, rear HQ custody, forward element need, courier run requirement, time delay friction, operational readiness impact, commander's complaints, staff officer rebuttals, policy memorandum issuance, standing orders updates, training pamphlet drafts, distribution list small, destruction after reading, return receipts required, controlled copy numbering, audit inspections, unexpected inspections, inventory reconciliation, discrepancy escalation, security incident reporting, disciplinary action threat, reminder circulars, procurement pipeline, component lead times, special materials lead, high explosive manufacture, detonator procurement, battery procurement, electronic part sourcing, post-war shortages, export controls, US component restrictions, domestic substitutes, performance penalties, specification relaxations, waiver approvals, engineering compromises, testing backlogs, range scheduling conflicts, explosive test sites, remote test bunkers, instrumentation arrays, high-speed cameras, oscilloscope records, timing jitter measurements, detonator simultaneity, lens wave shaping, neutron initiator concerns, polonium handling, safety protocols strict, radiological controls, glove box operations, filtered ventilation, containment checks, personnel monitoring badges, area contamination surveys, waste handling, shielded waste drums, transport permits, police notification channels, special escort details, road closure options, accident contingency route, alternate route cards, bridge weight limits, vehicle axle limits, suspension load ratings, tyre pressure settings, winter driving plans, snow chain stocks, convoy speed limits, escort spacing rules, halt procedures, overnight secure parking, guard detail composition, rules of engagement, non-disclosure briefings, code word use, radio silence periods, signal plan sheets, fallback signals, hand signal sets, flare use excluded, light discipline, blackout curtains, tentage concealment, site perimeter setup, sentinel posts, password challenge, countersign use, access roster, entry control point, tool check procedure, metal tool restrictions, static electricity control, earthing straps, no smoking policy, fire extinguishers, foam extinguishers, CO2 extinguishers, sand buckets, water bucket exclusion, electrical hazard concern, emergency stop control, safe state definition, safe state uncertain, disarming procedure, disarming time cost, re-entry risk, anti-tamper complexity, EOD neutralization challenge, manuals limited, only authorized technicians, technician clearance levels, technical orders, stepwise arming, stepwise disarming, independent verification, signature confirmation, seal replacement rules, chain of custody renewals, periodic inspection schedule, monthly inspection concept, monthly inspection impractical, buried device access, excavation burden, detection signature increase, inspection cancelled, reliance on design, reliance on seals, reliance on logs, long-term reliability doubt, reliability target uncertain, service life estimate, battery shelf life, battery replacement concept, replacement access issues, replacement triggers, alarm for low voltage, alarm transmission impossible, self-test circuits, self-test power draw penalty, self-test frequency, self-test log storage, no telemetry, human uncertainty persists, thermal management issue, insulation thickness calculations, insulation material options, cork insulation option, foam insulation option, fiberglass insulation option, moisture absorption risk, compression set risk, mold growth risk, rodent nesting risk, material selection reviews, temperature rise requirements, internal heater option, resistive heater concept, heater power demands, battery drain issue, chemical heat packs, heat pack life limited, phase change material, wax pack concept, wax leakage risk, shell crack risk, design team proposals, unconventional heating suggestions, live animal heat, chicken heat proposal, chickens, body heat, food water requirements, oxygen requirement, ventilation requirement, waste management issue, humane handling notes, operational practicality rejected, record shows consideration, later official clarification, public narrative distortion, declassification later, files released later, press coverage later, official statements issued, joke denial language, technical seriousness affirmed, cold problem remained, cold chamber results, battery output low, timer stalls observed, relay failure observed, condensation observed, insulation partly effective, burial heat transfer slow, soil freezing persisted, engineering marginality, staff skepticism, strategic value reassessed, alternative options studied, conventional demolition charges, chemical demolition charges, bridge demolition kits, scuttling charges, artillery demolition, air-delivered nuclear, tactical nuclear artillery, US nuclear sharing, NATO nuclear policy shifts, British deterrent development. V-bomber focus, submarine deterrent planning, resource prioritization, project cost scrutiny. Personnel allocation review, schedule slippage noted. Testing incomplete status. Operational unit readiness absent. Fielding deadline missed. Threat assessment changes. Soviet doctrine analysis. Forward defense concept. Flexible response evolution. Political leadership changes. Ministerial appetite reduced. Risk acceptance reduced. German public opinion. Alliance cohesion concerns. Diplomatic signaling concerns. Accidental detonation fear. Unauthorized detonation fear. Soviet capture fear. Escalation ladder concerns. War termination uncertainties. Post-detonation occupation. Contamination remediation absent. Friendly forces exposure. Civilian exposure. Legal implications. War crime speculation. Policy staff objections. Scientific advisor notes. Interdepartmental correspondence. Paperwork volume high. Decision papers circulated. Recommendation to cancel. Cancellation approval. Project termination action. Hardware disposition. Component storage. Component dismantling. Explosive disposal. Detonator return. Sensitive parts recovery. Documentation filing. Classification retained. Archive transfer later. Weeding schedules. Selected release later. Historical interest grows. Technical historians review. Cold War studies mention. Device concept classified then. Public understanding limited. Engineering lessons retained. Environmental hardening emphasis. Battery technology emphasis. Reliability engineering emphasis. Safety case discipline. Command control importance. Unattended weapon issues. Tamper problem complexity. Burial logistics cost. Site security cost. Record-keeping tension. Alliance politics impact. Program shows constraints. British improvisation pattern. Post-war austerity constraints. Industrial capacity constraints. Procurement friction constant. Testing resource scarcity. Secrecy overhead large. Secrecy reduces feedback. Secrecy reduces oversight. Secrecy increases risk. Blue Peacock example. Cold weather drives design. Soil drives corrosion. Time drives decisions. Policy drives cancellation. Engineering drives limits. Operational reality prevails.